Elemental Gimmick Gear. This game was developed by a little company called Birthday. It was published in Japan by Hudson Soft and was published in America by Vatical. It's actually a Dreamcast exclusive, and we're going to take a look at it today. Starting out, there is the intro. It's an anime style affair with supplemental 3D, a lot like the game itself. These cutscenes only happen in the intro, though there are cutscenes throughout the game. For those wondering, yes, this does output through VGA at 480p. We're introduced to our hero being discovered in his elemental gimmick gear. This was the basis of the technology of the world the player starts in. People discovered the EGG and then started building replicas, which were much larger in size to match the strength of the original they couldn't yet replicate. These got smaller as time went on. It's been 200 years since, and now everyone has one, and most are actually better than yours. First time you get to 3D battle will be with this Kid Lucky in the beginning who mistakes you for a pirate. Defeat him and you will get a capsule. Beat him 100 times consecutively and you'll get a dream item. It's really so worth it, as this dream item is the Eco Spinner and gives you eternal breakdance.
Music make you lose control.
This is your main attack now. It wasn't when you had to spend valuable health on it, but it is now, and it will be mostly how you kill enemies and fast travel. Punching is still fun and satisfying, though aim can be difficult, which is why my preference is to spin. Now to the elemental gimmick of the elemental gimmick gear. Your gear can do elemental attacks. You earn these attacks by being equipped with the stones. These are fire, ice, geo, and the last few I'll leave up to you to find out, but they are awesome. These elemental stones allow you to do new special attacks that will use the stone's energy, which you can start collecting and hoarding for each respective stone. This energy obviously gets used up as you use said attack. These aren't just attacks, however, as you can use them to solve puzzles as well. Freezing lakes to get across, freezing enemies to use as pressure plate weights, flame to melt ice blockages, lots of cool uses. Also a leveling system for attack, defense, and mine. They are upgraded by locating and earning capsules for each. Mine controls elemental powers, attack makes you hit harder, and defense, well, upgrades defense. There is also a hook shot of sorts, more of a hook punch or a fish shot. Whatever, punch some bitches from a distance, it can be useful. There's also the previously mentioned spin attack that can get you into small places, like the Morph Ball in Metroid. It's like this game took everything awesome from every 2D adventure game and threw it in a blender. Beyond this, there is plenty of Zelda Link to the Past style backtracking after getting new items, which is a great excuse to explore this beautifully drawn world. This really is a treat for anyone who's a big fan of sprite work. The game is addictive, and in fact, the hardest part of making this review was cutting so many hours of footage down to something useful. The music is also varied and appropriately placed, well made and unlike any other game really. It's just very much its own style. The dungeons sound ominous, the towns sound quaint and quiet, and exploring sounds adventurous. Speaking of towns, there are certain places inside of them you can actually explore on foot. Usually it's only the inside of buildings. But it is a cool refresh to actually get out and see your actual character and talk to folks. This is a very high-end 2D experience. It's like the Ferrari of a 2D top-down. So many layers and effects. The water splashes, there are transparencies, or at least the appearance of them everywhere. Loads of beautiful colors. Everything matches stylistically in the world without it feeling or appearing samey. The styles match so the world feels real, it feels cohesive, like one society built it, like they're all use the same parts, but differently based on their need. Great nature scenes, deep labyrinth feeling temples and dungeons, everything from sky to lava to water fortresses are represented. It just doesn't get stale. You may get lost once or twice, but it's a good excuse to collect health and supplies from enemies anyhow. There is also an inventory system that keeps track of your upgrades and attacks equipped. The map system is interesting, as it's only located at certain parts of the game, and is very basic, only really showing you a "you are here" type map. You get a good feel for where everything is located soon enough anyhow. As far as the 3D sections, they are incredibly fun as well, and it's pretty cool to see the 2D remade in 3D. Very fast paced, 60 frames per second or close to it, typically for boss battles at the end of a dungeon, but also a few side battles here and there. Not a lot to say except the controls are basically the same, just in a 3D space. It was a very cool idea. The lack of 3D given the scope and resolution of the 2D has a lot of folks thinking this was supposed to come out for the Sega Saturn, and the 3D was a last minute add-on for the Dreamcast. I agree with this actually, loving the result either way. All in all, this game is incredibly satisfying, has an awesome depth and weight to it most games even now often lack. One of the best on the Dreamcast and easily in my top 10 of all time. Please go find this game and play it if you haven't yet. You are truly missing out, and yes, it's worth buying a Dreamcast for. Let us know what you thought of this game and this review in the comments below.